they didn't have that when I was there, god damn it, no. Alright, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Katie Acoustics. This right here is a Sideshow, as you can obviously tell, because it doesn't have Chris Dirty original music or original song or whatever the hell you want to call it. Anyways, today what we are going to be talking about is fucking Amazon and why it completely sucks ass. Okay, so get ready, because we're about to go into some pretty damn good detail. Actually, it's more personal story related, but it's also going to go into some actual factual shit that has happened with some of the employees and some shit that went down. So without further ado, let's get ready to jump into this bullshit. So to go a little bit off the record, this right here is kind of going to be part of the next Sideshow that comes up. The Delta 8 thing. I'm late on it. I've recorded it like 3 or 4 times, and yeah, it just hasn't worked out. But anyways, Amazon. Why the hell am I saying that it sucks? I'm not necessarily talking about its delivery system or its prime drivers or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm talking about actually working for the company in general. Now, as far as hours and pay and everything goes, I'm pretty sure everybody or anybody who's worked there can agree that this place has some pretty damn good pay. And if you like being out of the house as long as most people, I know I like being out of the house a good majority of my day, then obviously there's no complaints in that department. But it's how they treat their employees and just the overall work environment that makes this job just complete, absolute, utter fucking bullshit. Why the hell I done that, I'll never know. But yeah, so I started working there at a FC in the state that I live in. It's a few cities over and stuff like that. And, you know, starting out, it was okay. Other than it was long, boring hours sitting behind a fucking computer with a scan gun, grabbing shit off of a line, and freaking doing all that. And that's what most people think it is, and it's really not. Especially if you're in a launch facility like I was, where it was actually using pallet jacks and moving shit from one place to another, or, you know, we even had like a sort team or something. I think that's actually still there given sources that I have, but it's not the same because now they use like cherry pickers because they got these freaking massive ass, I don't even know what you'd call them, like shelves, but they go all the way to the roof of like a, I don't know, 20-30 foot building. I'm not even sure if my numbers are accurate there. So yeah, anyways, you got that much being said. So it's probably still long, boring hours, but, you know, anyways, if you're doing all that, then it's probably a good job, but the thing that you won't really actually expect is the fact that I'm trying to get my pin balanced. But anyways, what you would expect is the amount of physicality that the job would actually incline, especially at the, freaking launch centers, or whatever you want to call it, and this is kind of where this job sucking comes into play. Now, I am one for physical work. I love physical work. I've been doing physical labor off the books ever since I was 7 years old, helping out, you know, here and there. Family business. It was a pallet company. There's a lot of lifting and a lot of things that you wouldn't necessarily expect to do because a lot of places don't necessarily like riding into a box truck. So, you know, there was a lot of days of loading up and stacking 200 plus pallets every run, or however much you want to do the math on that, you know, whatever. Not like that at Amazon at all. Frickin', you do a lot of physical work and stuff like that. Now, you can work at your own pace depending on what it is, but if you're behind, you better expect to kick ass. Which is not a bad thing, because I love going into a job and I love kicking ass. It's depending on the day. If I'm in a mood where I'm in a, you know, fuck the world kind of attitude, then nah. You know, it kind of varies. But, you know, there's a limit to how physical you can go as far as, you know, going to where you are going to pass out or throw up, anything that would, you know, basically send you home Amazon will push you that far, especially if you love going in there and kicking ass every single day. I figured that out. I think I was doing like 5 or 6 different things. Sometime they wanted them done right around the same freaking time, which was a lot of bullshit. I'm only one person, okay? And sometimes those 5 or 6 things would have to wait until right near the tail end of shift, where I'm already ripping and roaring, busting ass and everything, and then just throw it on top of all that. You need to go get the dock clean, or hey, you need to go grab this from all the way across the other side of the building, and you're probably like all 12 stations behind or some shit like that, right? There was even one point in time where I'd done something to my damn leg. I wouldn't necessarily say it was like an ACL injury or something, but I think like I pulled a hammy or some shit like that. All I know is that I did not want to walk on my damn legs, but I didn't have the medical waiver. I still had to show up and asked specifically to be put on processing and was fucking moved to one of the indirect jobs where it was rip and roar, freaking lift this, lift that, which honestly, in the end, just made me want to cut my fucking leg off, amputate that son of a bitch right here from the top of the knee down. That's how bad that shit was, okay? And then there's also people, and this is another thing on why I'm saying that Amazon sucks, okay? You'll have some older ladies in there, and the facility that I was working in, man, it seemed like the older ladies were the ones that they were putting over into sort, and nobody giving any constellation that some of that shit that actually comes in there weighs more than their 50-pound weight limit. Yeah, if you read that they got a 50-pound weight limit or something, or team lift after 50 pounds and shit like that, which most facilities won't have anything over 50 pounds. Keep that in mind and in the back of your head. That's unless you're working in like fucking Lex 2 or whatever the hell you would call it, where it's items that are maybe the size of a freaking phone or this little battery right here. Yeah, your items are going to be at least anywhere from 20 to 50 pounds. Mostly. The rest of the times you're probably expected like 78 to 100 pounds, which my weight measurements are probably off, but I know some of them damn truck covers that I lifted were well over 75 fucking pounds. Considering back when I could bench press like 125 or 150. Maybe not be impressive to some, but really fucking impressive to me. That's beside. Now, moving on into a complete different reason on why the hell this place absolutely sucks ass. Alright? This absolutely fucking makes you want to cut your balls off. Okay, is that unless you are on a direct roll, which like I was getting into earlier, you're sitting there on the line scanning stuff through a computer and all that bullshit, okay? The job is pretty much stress-filled, right? And whenever I say that, I'm meaning more along the lines of the trainers, okay? Or the ambassadors. Now, these people get the brunt of the shit, okay? I'm not sure how the managers go, because you can hardly find a manager to talk to in that place. You got 4 to 5 managers working the same damn shift, and you can hardly find one of them whenever you need them, but whenever you don't need them, they're right there. Anyways, as I digress along from that, yes, the ambassadors or your trainers take the brunt of the shit. They deal firsthand with some of these people who come in for the job and get trained, and then they get treated like ass, okay? So, and what I basically fully mean by that, alright, is you got people who are rude as shit who come in, figure out that they don't like the job, and then they're pissed at the world because they're staying there just to get that paycheck. Though a lot of people don't stay at a job past their first paycheck anymore. And it blows my mind. But besides that, okay, not only that, the ambassadors are almost like the last ones to know that something in the plant cannot be processed, or there's a certain change to the process and everything. So they'll be teaching them one way, and then an auditor or whatever will come up and tell this person and start questioning this person, and then they'll be like, oh, I wasn't trained right, and shit, and then it all fucking flashes down on the managers. One day, we were in there, or not manager, the ambassadors, but anyways, one day we were up in there, Okay, and this one ambassador girl, which I'm not giving anybody's names because, that would be not right of me to do so without consent. Anyways, this ambassador lady was so freaking, like, I don't know, exasperated or whatever you want to call it about whatever was going on. I guess she had a bunch of rude trainees or whatever. Anyways, she just absolutely had a flat mental breakdown right there in the building and everything. And I mean, come on, man. I understand that some people are more emotionally weak than another. And I'm not going to judge this girl for breaking down because, working the job you'll actually understand, okay? But at the same time, a job shouldn't really make you do that. I know there's going to be points where it makes you want to rip your hair out, but as far as mental breakdowns, man, like, that's just too much, especially whenever you got a lot of workers and in a lot of them in a big environment like that. You should probably have more people being ambassadors in the first place. That being said, though, yeah, you deal with a lot of shit being an ambassador. I was actually getting ready to become one of those before I quit, and we'll get into that in a minute. That brings me on to another reason why this place just absolutely... Alright, so this next reason right here, as the wind just fucking blows everything over, that was a huge ass wind gust. We're gonna try that again. Anyways, okay, another reason why this place sucks is because you have too many people doing the same job. Now, they're starting to weed these out through, my insider source at the company that I had worked at, which, I say insider source and it's literally just an employee, ex-employee, whatever you want to call them. Anyways, got too many people who are doing the same freaking job, okay? You had the ambassadors, you got the PAs, which the PAs have a little bit more responsibility, and you got the PGs, which have a little bit more responsibility, but those three in particular are doing almost too much of the same jobs. And what I mean by that is, okay, you got your ambassadors, which I understand that those are under a few or over a few people that they are training, which on a good day is like 4 to 5 per ambassador. On a bad day, whenever you're shorthanded on ambassadors and you got about 800 fucking new hires in that building, like this one did, you probably got like 10 to 12 heads over one fucking ambassador, or under one fucking ambassador, and that's kind of ridiculous in my opinion, right? But also, on the in-between, for people who are long-term employees or who have been there and completed their training to be, on the direct or line position, whatever you want to call it, okay? You got these PGs, which is a process guide, which is, I think, like one under a PA. Okay, anyways, their job is to do the same thing, but it's normally to help people who have been there longer. Okay, and as far as that goes, though, you are still answering andons, which is a little red siren button that you would almost see in a regular factory. That means, hey, there's something going on, whether it be a jam or a malfunction in the system, some retarded, ridiculous shit like that, right? But it's not, okay? Anyways, those are the most annoying things in there. But yeah, PGs go and they answer thems. Now, sometime or another, they may end up getting somebody that is under the ambassador. And in that case, yes, it's understood, that you can't get all of them at the same time. But the thing is, you're doing the same damn job, right? So why are you given a process guide position? Because I swear to God, I've seen ambassadors answering ones that weren't people who are getting trained and stuff. So you can kind of see what I mean. It takes away work rather than, the PG calling out the water spiders, which are the people who moves the pallets of processed items to the sort line, which, like I said, in a lot of facilities they probably don't even have that. But yeah, and the PAs, they're basically doing the same thing. The only difference is they're over maybe like a whole 8 sections of lines, rather than a PG, which would just be under 2 sections of lines. That still being said, though, the 2 sections of lines are, I think they got like 10 or 12 stations, so you're overcharged of like 10 to 24 stations, or 20 to 24 stations by 2. So, more along the lines of 40 to 44 or 48, however that number goes. Anyways, you can kind of get the gist. Moving on to a little shorter piece, and also one of the main reasons of why the hell I quit and everything is constant rule changes or changes in the process that you don't get told at all. Okay? Normally when this goes on, they're supposed to have a meeting with ambassadors or PAs and PGs, whatever you want to call it, anybody in the indirect position or sorting or whatever. You gotta know what the hell has changed, even if it's just within the process, okay? So some of these places can't process sharp items. Chainsaws, swords, knives, blah blah blah. You should automatically know what the hell a sharp item is, though electronic weed eaters don't fall under that category. So if you're working for a specific FC and shit like that, and you get a electric weed eater, or maybe even by so chance a gas weed eater, you can still process it because it doesn't have a blade head on it. It's stupid, okay? But no, anyways, that goes along with like some stupid change, okay? They didn't let anybody, or I think they started out like handing out single heat stickers to the stations. Used to have a whole roll of them, but apparently information was getting misput into the computers by the workers, and that caused the heat and refurb and problem solve shit to be handed out by ambassadors, PAs, and PGs, right? Yeah, it's dumb. I know, maybe that's a situation where you need to be like, I wasn't trained right. I would have died if somebody would have freaking said that, because nobody knows the changes in the process until last minute it happens. It's done been scanned, put out into the sort, and then it's audited, and you get a little Mr. Walk Around with a computer cart guy coming up to you being like, hey man, we can't process these and stuff, and then you get a whole spiel on the things that you can and can't process, even if you already know. You could probably be there for like 25 years and still get the same spiel. It's stupid, and yeah. But anyways, they had a bunch of rule changes. The 6 feet thing, they enforce that heavily now, and they keep getting more and more and more and more workers in there and shit. And you should understand that at a certain point in time, and most of these factories around understand, and I'm pretty sure every factory understands, that in certain scenarios, certain situations, or certain work environments, it is almost near impossible to stand 6 feet away from somebody, okay? Especially when you got, like, I don't know, too many damn workers in a place. I'm not even going to try to estimate the numbers on that and everything, but yeah, and they had like a mask change, which was the reason that I quit, because I go to wear like the surgical masks and shit. Now, if it's like in a small place out in public or whatever, put that damn thing on. I'm not gonna be in there but for like 5 minutes anyways. Even go into like Kroger or something, the max that I personally spend inside of that store is like 5 minutes tops, sometimes maybe 10. But that's just if I'm having a hard time looking for what I need. Anyways, that being said, yeah, I break out into a rash after, like, I don't even know how long, maybe like a couple of hours, 2 or 3. My face will start breaking out, and of course I've had a lot of people tell me, oh, shave the beard and it'll work. I had the beard shaved, or at least trimmed down skin tight when I started the job, and had a rash so bad on my damn face that I didn't want to move my mouth to even eat, let alone speak to anybody. And, I wore the gaiter, but then they moved on to saying, oh yeah, you specifically have to wear a thing, or one of the surgical masks, or the N95s, or whatever the hell other mask, okay, unless you had a medical recommendation, which at the time, and still currently, I don't have a primary health care provider, so I can't really get a liable excuse note, because, yeah, I don't have a primary healthcare doctor, and I don't have asthma and shit like that. But there's a lot more rule changes that there are. I'm not going to go into every single one of them because honestly it depends on various FCs, and I'm not about to, sit and research 24 freaking days, 17 hours a day on all the different rules of Amazon. That's just not going to work. And last but not least, because I got a few more reasons, but I'm going to list those very briefly at the end, and you can do your own research into that, okay? But last but not least, this company is a company that wants to pay you to quit. Alright, this is not a reason why I left. This is the number one reason on why the hell this place sucks, okay? Recently, like I said, I don't know if it's every FC in the damn country or if it's just the one in particular that I had worked at and know people that work at and shit like that, right? Okay, this company will pay you to quit. They will pay you $1,000 extra on your check to quit. But here's the kicker, you gotta sign a piece of paper that says you'll never work in another Amazon FC in your life. Sounds like a pretty good bargain for me, but they didn't have that when I was there, god damn it, no. But who in the right mind wants to work at a company that's gonna pay you to quit, but you can never work in another one nationwide again? What kind of ignorant shit is that? Now me, I would have took that offer because I could give a shit less about Amazon. If that company plummeted tomorrow, I wouldn't give a shit. I would feel bad for all the people, the millions and millions of people, not only nationwide but globally, that freaking work for this big corporation that used to be Zappos, if I'm honestly not mistaken. I'm not for sure on my facts about that. But anyways, yeah. Like, who would want to work for a company that pays you to quit? In my opinion, that's stupid, okay? Because if there's no other jobs in the world left, alright, or there's no other jobs around you in your area and you end up having to go work for Amazon again, and you go and you apply and you get an email that's like, oh yeah, if you don't remember, you signed this piece of paper, we cannot hire you, or some shit. Or just imagine them making you pay $10,000 for that $1,000 because they figured out you signed the paper and then, you wanted to come back but you signed that paper, so you have to pay $10,000. I'm not saying that's gonna be what you have to do. That's kind of just like an example on making and mocking that damn thing that they made. I just can't get over that, right? But I guess the wheel keeps turning. But now there are a couple more reasons and everything to why this company absolutely sucks. If you want to, you can just simply Google them. One of them being is Amazon doesn't care about its workers. Trust me, you'll find tons and tons and tons of articles written about this. It's probably not tons, but you get the gist. There's a lot of articles and plenty of research to actually freaking go through on that. And you can also look up Amazon lawsuits through workers or families of workers who had incidents related to the work stress that eventually led to heart attacks or other ailments that, killed them pretty much. Not really 100% saying that Amazon is at fault for that, but they should be held accountable due to the fact of, the stress environment that it does cause. Especially, if somebody comes into work or can't come back to work because they had a heart attack against doctor's orders, and you can't make it back to work in the time frame that the company wants you to come back to work, and then you get terminated. That's an actual article. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, that's an actual article that you can find, and I have read it all. I think it's like part 2 of a 2-part article that was written about like 2 different employees on 2 different occasions or whatever, and yeah. But anyways, look those up on Google, or maybe you could find the article links. If I can find them by the time I upload this video, they'll be down in the description box, as well as my Instagram. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I haven't put it in the last few videos, but yeah, Anyways, guys, that's about it for me. This was Why Amazon Sucks, the Katie Acoustic Sideshow. I hope y'all liked this video. I hope y'all stuck around to the end. I was trying to keep it under 30 minutes. I won't know the actual minutes of this video until I actually go and break down and do the editing process. So, yeah. Anyways, like I said, you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe if you like this type of content. I also encourage you to go check out my music, especially the last song that I just dropped on Monday, or Sunday. On Sunday, okay, you, that's an original song. It wasn't the cover that I had up on here, and then I took it off because I didn't want it to get confused, and then a big bash in the freaking YouTubes happened. You know what I'm saying? But no. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.